Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to InSports Club Dubai. It is the final of the 2017 Indoor Cricket World Cup. I'm Cameron Walter, your host, and it's my pleasure to bring you this match. It's a rematch between Australia and New Zealand. On the line, the world title. Australia have won the toss and will be batting first. We'll talk to their captain first of all, Lyle Teskey from Australia. Come on over. Lyle, another World Cup final for you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. The team's looking pretty good. There's a few nerves about obviously being a grand final, but confident in what we're about to do. So.
Now, you've been pushed by a few teams throughout the week. Still come into this game as favourites, in particular after your major semi-final victory over New Zealand. Do you think that favourite status puts any added pressure on you?
Oh, I don't think so. I think just the final itself puts a bit of pressure on everyone. As long as we go out there and do the best we can, I'm sure we'll be good enough to get over the line.
Now, you've won the toss and you've elected to bat. What's the thinking there?
Runs on the board. Finals, you try and get some runs on the board, put the pressure back on the other guys. So if we can try and get 75 plus, it'll be a really good score for us.
And what would your last message be to your teammates, Lyle?
Enjoy the occasion, enjoy the experience. It's been a wonderful carnival so far. Let's try and finish it off on a good note.
Oh, well, good luck today, Lyle.
Thank you.
That's Lyle Teskey there, the Australian captain. We'll talk now to the New Zealand skipper, Victor Davies. Victor, come on over. Victor, for you, another World Cup final as well. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty excited about it. I think the whole team is as well. A bit of retribution. Obviously, we've lost to them twice during this tournament, but I'm pretty confident that we can execute our plans when we come up with a result.
Are there any shadows of the previous World Cup final? Australia batted first in that game as well and put on a massive amount of runs and managed to defend it as well. Is that in the back of the mind at all?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a new game, it's a new tournament. It's like 2 or 3 years since the result, so no, that's been wiped. So fresh start today.
And Australia batting first, would you have done the same if you'd won the toss?
Yeah, we looked to bat first, obviously scoreboard pressure, but we execute our plans well, then hopefully we won't be chasing as much.
And what's your last message for your teammates?
Oh, just to win every ball. I think enjoy the moment, relish it. It's not every day you get to play in a World Cup final, so win each ball and come away with the result.
Very good. Well, good luck today, Victor.
Cheers, thank you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our two captains ahead of the big dance. It's the grand final here at the 2017 Indoor Cricket World Cup. We're coming to you live from Dubai. It's now time for the national anthems of Australia and New Zealand. there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthems of Australia and New Zealand ahead of this, the World Cup final. I'm Cameron Walter, once again alongside Sean Shaper. Sean, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Cameron. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's, well, as much as Australia enter this match as favourites, World Cup finals are a funny thing, and we could see a very, very interesting result here. And before we get too far into that analysis, we have a little treat for you here. It is, of course, Australia versus New Zealand, and that does mean it's time for one of New Zealand's traditional battle cries, the haka, which we see fairly frequently in New Zealand sport, and the World Cup final here in Dubai is no exception. The Australians moving in a position to stand and watch this. It is the haka from New Zealand. Ladies and gents, the haka from New Zealand, and as much as it gets them pumped up, it gets the Aussies pumped up as well, to say nothing of the crowd. We've seen 3 finals so far today, and Australia have been victorious in all 3 of them. They haven't lost a World Cup in the Open Men's Division ever, Sean, and well, I suppose this side won't want to be the first. But New Zealand, despite losing to them in the major semi, they've pushed them throughout the week. So I think this is a New Zealand side that has the goods. They can get the job done today.
Yes, Cameron, I think as one that's experienced falling on the wrong side of the Australians historically, and had the advantage of playing against this New Zealand team, I think they're a strong outfit. I have no doubt that the Australians will embrace this challenge, and I think we set up for a wonderful test match.
Well, I'll ask the same question that I've asked of you before, I mean, which is particularly useful coming from you having coached in this division. What should Australia batting first be aiming for here?
I think in this particular, 90 runs. If we're looking at just under 24 pair, giving them just short of 96 runs, I think that's defendable. New Zealand are a strong outfit with the bat, and again, I'll come back to nerves has been a key point as well as discipline.
We saw in the junior game, Australia-New Zealand, the New Zealand boys took it right down to the last ball and very nearly knocked off the defending champions. And a co-commentator at the time suggested that New Zealand perhaps just didn't know how to win the World Cup. They were intimidated by the prospect of doing that. Do you think that might be a factor here for this New Zealand men's side?
Yes, most certainly. The track record does intimidate, but I think New Zealand are a professional outfit. I think they would have covered all the areas, and nerves being one of those. And I think if you don't walk onto this court believing that you're able to beat the Australians, I think you're already on the back foot, which is not a good starting point.
No, certainly not. And again, Sean, having coached in this division, who do you think are going to be the stand-up players for each side? I mean, each side's going to need a match winner, or 2 or 3. Who are the big names we should be looking out for here?
Yeah, I think Vinesh Bennett, a lot of experience, good start with the bat. Jay Arter and obviously Teskey, they're a solid pack. And then I think, on the New Zealand side, they've got a good bowling attack there, and I think Henderson comes with good experience. I think he'll lead the boys and motivate them. And I think a couple of the other boys that are in that region.
I think in addition to that, Jesse Ryder, certainly the potential to bring some X factor here for the Kiwis. He, international outdoor cricketer as well. Certainly some potential for him to have a big impact here as we see the opening combination for Australia. They've had plenty of success together, these two, Vinesh Bennett and Tim Floros. Tim, in fact, is the Cricket Australia's current International Indoor Cricketer of the Year. And these two played together in the Australian Capital Territory, the national champions there back in Australia. So 2 very, very capable batsmen. They'll have to contend with Scott Davies, who's going to bowl the first over. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And tucked away for 2. The slap, very tight. Tim Floros might have been found wanting there, Sean.
Yeah, very close call there. Victor Davies, for me, has been very impressive throughout this campaign. Very strong, very quick on the leg side. So Australia will have to be careful where they position that play.
Victor Davies, his first World Cup as captain, but although he actually captained them in the World Cup final last year, as Lee Kelly didn't play that game. So he has that feather in his cap as well, Victor Davies, as Tim Floros starts off with a nice 2 on the offside. I did ask Victor in the pre-game whether the previous World Cup was in the back of the minds, and he looked fairly unimpressed with the question, to be honest. He quite rightly points out it was 3 or so years ago, and that's not even a factor for these Kiwis. It's a new team with a new goal, and that's the 2017 world title.
Yes, I think they'll back their sides. But Vinesh Bennett there just playing a lovely shot up and down with soft hands. And I think they'll target into the rib area. Vinesh seems to be, he's a strong player if you pitch it up to him. And if anything, not too many areas for vulnerability, but short of and back of the length puts him under a bit of pressure.
And immediately there, finding sort of an edge there on Tim Floros, and a quick call from Bennett to ensure they hadn't moved. 2 balls remain in the first over. It's a chance at the keeper's end, the diving Vinesh Bennett. Well, I suppose that meant he would always be home, but one of those slaps is going to hit those stumps.
Vinesh is quick between the wickets and he's not scared to dive. He gives his all.
Final ball now of Scott Davies over. And that catches a piece of the line on the way through and is called leg side by Andrew Hall-Villiers, the umpire for this match, standing in his first men's grand final at the World Cup. Our congratulations to him on that appointment. But a good start for Australia. 9 runs coming from the over.
9 runs, a very good start. I think any pair will be happy with a 9-run start.
Yeah, I think the major semi, Australia, they won the game in the field. They absolutely were clinical against New Zealand, to book the first place in the final. So I think they, as much as they'd love 90 on the board, I think they'll feel comfortable with anything around about 70. But gee, it'd be nice to walk off with 90 on the board if you're an Australian fan. Here we go, here's Crook. There's a chance at the keeper's end again, but Vinesh dives and he's in. What does it say about indoor cricket that Tim Floros has just hit a down up 2 and I'm immediately saying it's a chance? It's a tight net.
It just tells you the standard of the fielding, but
yeah,
that was really a good solid hit into the ground and giving himself fair enough chance to get Vinesh down to the danger end.
This time that catching some back net, so just a single. If you're new to indoor cricket, all the nets are scoring zones. Suffice it to say, the further and straighter you hit it, the more runs the nets are worth. With the back net being worth a 0 plus the physical run. Cook continues, Floros on strike. It's a full delivery, a good length delivery, and it's almost jammed out by Floros, suggesting that there's some away shape there.
Again, Australia showing good discipline, good early call, not putting each other under pressure for a run out.
Driven straight back to the bowler, and it will be a dot. So that discipline, when faced with a good follow-up delivery, it's resulted in them being on 3rd ball. So now they'll have to contend with that again. If you need it indoor cricket, 2 consecutive dots means the next ball has to be scored off. It is known as 3rd ball, and this is it. Good movement there from Floros. Just got into the right position to play that shot. It's only a single, but safely negotiates 3rd ball.
Yes, Cameron getting right in behind that ball, hitting it firmly into the ground. Once again, making it simple for his partner to get across to the other end.
Final ball of the over now. Vinesh Bennett takes time to set himself and takes guard. Stood the fielder, and there's that discipline again, Sean. Early call of no. Good movement in the field from New Zealand to create that vision in front of the fielders and cause them to call no. Just 4 runs from that over. A very good one for New Zealand.
Very good over from Cook there. Nice tight line, bringing the fielders into play, making it extremely difficult. Although the discipline in the shot was a good, strong shot, fielding was very good up front.
It's going to be Butler now to bowl the third over for New Zealand, Kieran Butler. He's warming up, 13 runs so far for these two. No one really into the game yet. New Zealand will be looking for that first wicket to spark their fielding innings here.
Important to take their chances.
Beaten outside off. Floros not getting across to that one. See lots of support here at In Sports Club Dubai. Plenty of fans have made the trek here to the United Arab Emirates to support the friends and family here, which is fantastic to see. And of course all the other teams from the other divisions, now that they're finished, they're here to lend some voice as well as Butler continues. It's a chance to flick, and it's missed the stumps, and the keeper was not there to glove it.
Yeah, good piece of fielding there from Jesse Ryder. Good return flick. Unfortunate, and these are the chances we're talking about, Cameron. They don't, when they present themselves, New Zealand have to take advantage.
Yeah, Australia won't give that many chances, so
No, certainly won't.
they'll need to convert them. Butler to Bennett. It's a chance again, but Floros is home. Quick between wickets. See the steely determination in the eyes of Tim Floros there. Harnessing the power of the beard as well, he'd like me to say. Bennett was tempted to take the run there, but Tim Floros sent him back.
Good call from Floros. Jesse Ryder was in there very quickly, very sharp, ready to pounce on and get that over the wickets.
So 2 to come now. Yeah, short and wide, and very good positioning from Floros into that position very early, and a comfortable down up 2 for him through point.
Yes, I'm not sure that's the length that New Zealand want to bowl to the Australians. The Australians very strong outside on the off.
It's full. Bennett looking for the no ball for height as a full pitch delivery, but the umpire not interested. Brings the over to an end again, just 4 runs from it. So despite not taking a wicket, New Zealand bowling for the most part very nice and tight, and not making it easy for the Australians to score. They are nevertheless on 17 runs with an over to go.
Yeah, 17 positive runs at the moment. Well, New Zealand need now is the wicket, and the Australians obviously just want to keep it nice and tidy, keep it over the 20-run mark, and yes, New Zealand have come back nice and strong.
It's going to be Nick Ward now. He'll bowl the final over to this pair with a score on 17. Crucial over here will be the difference between a 20-plus opening partnership for Australia. And that is an unbelievable shot from Tim Floros. Like his brother Matt, they have made that their bread and butter, and you cannot bowl there to him. He's just too good.
Now, Cameron, that's a shot at the top, highest level, out of the top draw.
Finds the edge, it falls safe. He's got a little bit bigger on Bennett than I think he thought it would.
Ward bowling with some good shape around the wicket.
Score on 20, 4 balls remain. Full, it's driven, and it's into the back court for 4 runs. And Bennett certainly let Ward know about it. That's a big shot in the late stages of this opening pair.
That's certainly working perfectly for the Australians, yeah. Discipline, just played beautifully through the line there.
See, that discipline calling from Australia. It's put them on third ball once or twice, but because they've just maximised their scoring opportunities anywhere else they can afford it. 24 runs, and how many dots have they faced? 5 or 6?
Yeah, that's been very good. Very important 2 balls now, not to give it away.
It's full, it's driven back, and Flora sends Bennett back, so they will be on third ball to finish their partnership. Crucial moment for both sides. New Zealand will be desperate to convert this into a wicket. They've bowled reasonably well, Sean.
They have. They've come back strong, and this is difficult for the Australians. Last ball, 24 on the board. They certainly don't want to end up on 19.
You see the receiver Butler having a chat there as the crowd gets involved, and Ward is going to move around the wicket. Beaten, chance at the top, and not out. New Zealand have thrown it away, and that is textbook for the Australians on third ball. When you get beaten, you hold your ground, you allow your partner to get in, and you force the opposition to take the wicket, and New Zealand weren't up to the task. They threw away a certain wicket to finish that pair, Sean.
Cameron, 2 clear-cut opportunities for New Zealand there. They've given them 10 runs where they should have minus that, and unfortunately at this level, in a final of today, you cannot afford to miss those opportunities.
Absolutely not. So Vinesh Bennett and Tim Floros, despite a very well constructed 4 overs from New Zealand, have posted 25 to open the batting for Australia. That's exactly the start they would want, ladies and gentlemen, here at the final of the 2017 Indoor Cricket World Cup. It's all thanks to our partners at Lycafly, who have looked after the travel and accommodation for all of our teams throughout this tournament. We certainly do appreciate their support. Check them out at lycafly.com. And Jay Otto and Lyle Teskey, 2 of, well, the most experienced heads in this Australian side, have come out now. And how does that feel if you're New Zealand? You've just seen Vinesh Bennett and Tim Floros get 25, and now you have to contend with these 2.
Yeah, they know they're up against it. There's no weak links in this Australian team. You've got to stick to your game plan, stick to your disciplines, and take your chances.
So it'll be Butler to bowl his second over. There's a chance already. Teskey is home. I know that Teskey has struggled with some injuries since the national tournament in Australia, from which he was selected for this side, and he's nursed himself back well, and this determination from him, here he is in another World Cup final.
Leading his country.
And that's a great shot from Teskey. It is just a single, but a safe one. That's what counts.
Solid stroke into the ground and up.
Butler continues. It's a chance, and again, New Zealand cannot capitalise. That was a suicidal run there from Australia. That's come straight down off the top net and into the hands of Jesse Ryder. And not only is he not hit, but the throw's nowhere near the keeper.
Yes, unfortunately, another opportunity passed. And let's hope that the New Zealanders don't let them bite them back in this.
It's caught the back net first. It'll just be a single.
3 wonderful opportunities created and not capitalised on. Jesse Ryder got to get it into the keeper's gloves there.
Absolutely, he had so much time, enough for the keeper to glove it and take the stumps, but wasn't to be. 2 balls remain in the 5th over. This time a no call from Otto, happy to block that one out, and 1 to come. Top delivery. Just gets Otto on the legs. It'll be a dot to finish, so they'll begin the second over on third ball. And again, a fantastic over from New Zealand, just not converting the chance.
Absolutely, Cameron. And this is going to cost them It was a beautiful delivery there from Butler, some good pace, some good movement, and they've just got to keep it tight.
Well, this is another opportunity for them with it being third ball, and Matt Henderson, who's enjoyed a good tournament. He was a key factor in their win in the preliminary final. You see there he's wearing number 71 on the shirt. I believe the New Zealand side have gone back and tracked the history of their New Zealand men's team, and he's in fact the 71st player to represent New Zealand. Australia have done the same thing. Their numbers are on their caps. So plenty of history there, and it illustrates that Henderson is one of the most experienced players in this side. In fact, the lowest number in the team. It's a leg side. Otto has to get back, and he can do it despite the large turn by virtue of the ball being fumbled.
Difficult angle in indoor cricket when the bowler's coming around and getting that shape. You have to make sure you directly behind that ball, be able to play it into the ground and getting maximum elevation.
Now it's into the fielder, but he catches the back net. Teskey not happy with the call. He's suggesting it should have been 2. And it has been called 1. Another opportunity there, just very tough in the front court there when it's played with as much force. 4 to come. Just finesse from Jay Otto.
Again, Australia saying immense discipline. Not looking for any big shots, just turning the board over, rotating the strike beautifully, clicking it over.
Well beaten. I don't know if there was an edge there, or we're wearing a headset, Sean, so we can't quite hear it. Kiwi certainly didn't go up. I mean, it was obviously dropped, but again, good bowling from New Zealand.
Good bowling, a lot of effort into that ball. You could just see generated some good pace.
It's up, and it falls safe. I think Ryder misreading the net. He dived, probably didn't need to dive, probably could have just crouched over and caught that, but as a result of the dive, it was out of his reach.
It was in the air for a fair amount of time. Definitely another opportunity gone missing.
How hard is it, Sean, to come back from that when you see so many opportunities go begging as a fielding side?
Yeah, it's very difficult. Psychologically, you start thinking that the run of the ball is against you. So New Zealand have to put that out of the mind. Here's a chance. Good running.
And a big dive to get home. A good piece of fielding from New Zealand. And you see the big fist pump there from the Australian captain and Jay Otto. They've taken the score for their pair to 13 with 9 runs coming from that over. And he was saying, Sean, very tough to come back.
Yes, just coming back to that question there. New Zealand needs something special. They need to take a wicket. It needs to be something special, and need to build onto that piece of brilliance. At the moment, they seem a little bit flat. There's not too much energy in the legs, and we need a bit more bounce out of them. Otherwise, the Australians are going to certainly post a decent score.
Yeah, and I have to say, if Australia gets to 3 figures, that's going to be very imposing total to chase for New Zealand, particularly since they only managed something like 25 against them in the major semi. And it'll be Jesse Ryder now, bowling the 7th over. Good start. They've gone up for the catch, but just off the legs of Otto. Chance there, but it's in the gap, so that's all you need to do. Doesn't always have to be at the top of the net and near the strings. These two move to 15 and the total to 40.
Turning it over nicely, Australia.
And catching Teskey on the way through. It's a fair delivery.
Interesting line this, Cameron, going across the batsman towards the leg side. 2 fielders on the leg side. Victor Davies very quick up front there. It's going to take serious discipline from the batsman.
And that's why that fielder is there behind square, but unable to take a wicket. I mean, you've called it, Sean. There's a 2-man leg side field. One is behind square, the other when he gets into position, is fairly square himself, and in the offside, a fairly square cover. So you have to get the ball on a dime for that field, and Jesse Ryder's doing it. Well, cursed him. There's the leg side.
Unfortunately, it's a very difficult line. It's a good line when one makes it and gets it in the right areas, but the chance for error is really right up there at the highest point.
Last ball of the over. It's a no ball front foot, +2, and that really stings. The Australians, courtesy of that, move to 22, and the total to 47 with an over to come in this pair.
Costly mistake that, Cameron. An opportunity created there at the backward at leg one, not taken. Then you bowl a no ball, go for 4 runs, cool game.
It certainly is. It's going to be the skipper now, Victor Davies, who will bowl for New Zealand. They're going to need something special from their skipper here. Certainly no slouch with the ball, but definitely known for his power hitting with the bat.
Victor Davies mixes it up, got a bit of an offie, a leggy, bowls with a good discipline line.
Starts with the leg side. I have to say, Sean, throughout all the finals today, so many bowlers, their first ball of the game has been a leg side or a wide. It's tough for them to be ready ball one.
Very humid inside here, a lot of people, a lot of atmosphere. It just could be that humidity is playing a contribution.
Yeah, either because they can't control the ball out of the hand or it swings a little bit more than they think, as we see Jay Otto just into position early to play a nice down up 2 there for Australia. Jay Otto was watching highlights on YouTube the other day of him taking part in the 2004 World Cup final some 13 years ago in Sri Lanka. Australia defeating Sri Lanka in what was a tense world final there. So amazing to see him here 13 years later in the corresponding game.
Absolutely. I was very privileged to play against him in 2004 in Sri Lanka. So we walked a long road.
And it's up and it falls safe again. Can you believe that?
You can just see, Cameron, the body language from the New Zealanders now. Their shoulders have dropped. That was a wonderful opportunity, a good delivery, falling in a hole that normally is gathered.
Yeah, that's been probably 4 or 5 opportunities throughout the innings. Davies continues. And bread and butter for Otto, but again a chance and the ball just not hitting. I have to say, I know Victor said had nothing to do with this final, but this is looking very, very similar to what happened in Wellington 3 years ago. The Australian side batted first and just completely battered New Zealand out of the game. Plenty of time left, however, 2 to come.
Yes, I'll go back to what I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. New Zealand needs something special, need a good wicket just to lift them up together, start believing they can come back into this game. This is a crucial ball, and the next 4 overs will determine where Australia are actually going to set their target.
Yeah, Lyle Teskey, the Australian captain, happy to block the last 2 balls. And can you blame them? 30 runs on the board for the partnership, and Australia move to 55. You can see how pumped they are as Luke Ryan and Rob Fitzgerald enter the court for Australia. Luke Ryan, the only debutant at this tournament in the World Cup final side. So plenty of experience here, and Luke Ryan played a massive game in the major semi-final as well. Rob Fitzgerald, of course, he would be the most capped Australian player, perhaps one of the most capped players around the world. Has been in the Australian side, I think, since 2002, maybe 3. Yes. He too was in that 2004 World Cup, as you would know, Sean.
Yes, Fitzy's been around a long time. Very good player, very experienced player. And, they've got 55 runs on the board. No pressure on them just to go and build and develop another 20, 25 runs, and things looking very good for the Australians at the moment.
They are, and maybe New Zealand can take some solace from the fact that their bowling, with the exception of the odd wide, has been very, very good, and certainly up to the standard of a World Cup final. It's just been their inability to convert those chances. Maybe it'll just take that one to get them going, and they can keep Australia below those 3 figures and maybe even less.
Yes, absolutely right.
Tunnicliffe now bowling for New Zealand. Rob Fitzgerald on strike. Great delivery, but Rob Fitzgerald, thank you very much. What a start that is from him. Full out-swinging Yorker on off stump, and he's hit a down up 2. Can you believe it?
Wonderful. That just sets your innings up for you. Boost the confidence. Asking the bowler to come at you. Wonderful stroke.
Luke Ryan now. Chance at the keeper's end, and this time not out. The big dive from Fitzgerald. New Zealand not happy with the call, but Fitzy's very, very quick. And the added time it took from the keeper to gather the ball and take the stumps must have just given him enough time to get home.
Wonderful commitment from Fitzy. Getting down nice and low, sliding over the line, keeping the bat on the ground. Very good piece of play.
Driven straight back to the bowler, who throws it to Fitzgerald, who then blocks it away. And see the umpire there suggesting maybe that was unnecessary, and an immediate apology from Tunnicliffe.
Good sportsmanship. It's a heated game. You can see the frustration creeping in with the New Zealanders. They're not getting the wickets. They've just got to keep their calm and stick to their game plan.
Driven, well fielded by Henderson. He really is a weapon for New Zealand in the field, and that was coming with some force, and didn't try and catch it, didn't try and turn around and throw it. He just knew just to keep it off the net.
It's quality cricket, a good delivery, well struck by the batsman, and a fantastic piece of fielding.
Called through, another chance, a big diving Fitzgerald, and New Zealand, they just need a direct hit, Sean.
Yes, Cameron, I'm a bit concerned for the New Zealanders at the moment. This pair's brought in a lot of energy. Ryan and Fitzgerald are looking excited, they're focused, they're hitting the ball in the middle. This could be trouble for New Zealand.
Great shot, still a chance. A rare misfield from Henderson. And you see him immediately, he got down and tried to dry his hand on the surface here at InSports Club Dubai, and that goes back to the humidity you were talking about earlier, Sean. Just lots of moisture on the ball, lots of moisture in the air, and lots of moisture on the hands of all of the players here.
You see Ward carries a towel at the back of his pants just to dry the hands. Very difficult to grip the ball.
Now we're coming to you through Dubai TV here in Dubai and around the world, and also through the World Indoor Cricket Federation Facebook page. Thank you for your company, ladies and gentlemen. This is the World Cup final here at the 2017 edition of the Indoor Cricket World Cup. Victor Davies now bowling his second over. Called through. That's just such experience from Fitzgerald. The call wasn't immediate. He took that extra beat to make sure there was enough height for Ryan to get home, and called him through, and Ryan responded.
Good eye contact and communication. A loud call, acceleration, head down and crossing the line.
The focus on Luke Ryan's eyes. It's a great shot. It's just a single, but it's a safe single, and they move now to 10, and the total is 65 midway through the 10th over.
Interesting point here from the Australians is that the minute they call, they put their head down and go. There's no time to ball watch. There's no time to have a look and see what the field is going to do. The fielding is exceptional. So you head down and get across the line.
Chance this time, and the first wicket falls. Luke Ryan not happy with the call. He didn't dive. Nonetheless, it's out in the book. And New Zealand have their first wicket, a much needed wicket. Here we have a look on the replay. It's down and up. Luke Ryan sets off. Tough to tell from that angle. The umpire had a much better view of it than we did, and the finger was raised.
-5 it is.
And what a response that is from Luke Ryan. Textbook indoor cricket. Might be in the textbook, but very difficult to execute. Look at those skills.
Absolutely brilliant discipline. You've just lost a wicket. No big shot. Under the eyes. Good 3. Rotate the strike. Very good cricket.
Into the fielder. Confusion here. Chance at the top. They can't hit. Crook it was. Just see though that wicket just introduces a little bit of doubt in the mind of these two batsmen. It's the first real miscommunication we've seen. There's Paul Bottrell on your screen, long-time New Zealand coach, assistant coach over the years. He's also probably single-handedly responsible for getting Singapore indoor cricket off the ground. There's the reason they're here at the tournament as well. So a good over there for New Zealand, but they let themselves down with the leg side to finish. And these two are still on 10 runs in the total on 65. They've got 2 overs to play. Plenty of time for them to get above 20.
Yes, indeed. I think their target will be 20. Anything above 20 will be a bonus. New Zealand have to fight back now. They have to dig deep, pull their sleeves up and make sure that they bring this pair down. They can't afford this pair to get away.
Just see these two went and had a word with the Australian assistant coach, Billy Floros. Billy, throughout the week's done a lot of intel on all of the sides, no exception New Zealand, and has a little bit of advice on what to expect. Here's Davies. It's a great delivery inside the line, very tough to get those away.
Davies had a good week this week with the ball, bowled in good areas, took a number of wickets and put a lot of batsmen under pressure.
And again, a great delivery, very tough to get it away. And these two will be on third ball.
Interesting here, back of a length into the rib cage, 2 on the leg side, looking for the wicket.
How can Luke Ryan, the only debutant at this tournament playing in the final, deal with this third ball scenario? Here's Davies. And well done, a good adjustment from him. Very similar line to the first ball from Davies, just that fuller length, and driven through the gap by Luke Ryan for 2.
All credit to Ryan, no nerves, batting as if it's not a debut in a World Cup final. Looks like he's played in a number of finals. Very calm, very collect, very organised, good performance.
And that is out. You don't see Rob Fitzgerald get bowled all that often. Davies has bowled an excellent over. 2 dots, a third ball situation, then he's bowled him. This is New Zealand fighting back, Sean.
Yeah, this is them coming back. The Kiwis don't like to be put onto the back foot. They need something special. Need his teammates to get him behind him now and start getting a little bit aggressive.
2 to come. Fitzgerald would have been frustrated with that out, but he's not going to let that affect his game.
Once again, a wonderful response after losing the wicket. Good discipline, good up into the 2 nets, 2 runs, rotate the strike.
Straight to Ryder in the front court, so the call is no. And a wonderful over from Davies, just what New Zealand needed. With 1 over to come in this, the third pair. The score now on 64, largely on the back of 2 wonderful batting partnerships to begin this innings. Crucial over now. Can Australia get back on track, or will it be New Zealand to continue the fight back?
Yes, very good over there from Davies. Good pace, good line, good length, bringing in his fielders, getting New Zealand back and harped up into this game. They need to come back strong.
So it'll be up to Nick Ward now, number 84 for New Zealand. He's tasked with bowling the final over to this pair. We still have Matt Floros and Travis Baker to bat for Australia. They'll be out here in 6 balls time. That's a great delivery. Away swing, starting on the legs and moving on to middle. And it's third ball again. Big moment now in the World Cup final.
Australia under touch of pressure now. New Zealand clawing their way back, Cameron.
Driven, it's flat, and there's a chance, a good flick from Henderson, but it's too high. Means that Butler has to gather and take the stumps, and Fitzgerald is home.
Can't help think that New Zealand need a wicket now. They really need a wicket to stay in this.
And there's certainly one from the remaining deliveries in this partnership. Ward takes his time to set himself, and here he comes. Well, it sounded like there's a bit of a shout that there may have been an edge there, but Cook didn't look too interested in catching it, so beaten, I would say, a dot ball. Good change, but adjustment there from Ryan. It created an opportunity though, but again, New Zealand can't come up with a hit. Another opportunity missed.
Good quick hands there from Davies up front, but really good placement and good running from the Australians.
Two balls remain in the third pair. They've clawed their way back to 13, the Australians, the total on 68. It's another great shot from Fitzgerald, just a single and one ball to come. Luca Ryan, look of determination on his face. He just tells himself to be ready. One more ball. And the call is no. I'll be happy with a 14. It's a good fight back from New Zealand, but when you've got 55 on the board after 8 overs, you'll take 14 in the next 4. Australia moved to 69 with 4 overs to come.
Absolutely. I almost suspect of the way the discipline in the bowling has come and the batting of the Australians. I don't see it being too much of a high-scoring game, but Australia is certainly giving the opportunity to defend something. This is crucial, these 4 overs. New Zealand are either going to chase 90 or they can restrict it. And this is going to be very, very important 4 overs for New Zealand.
It will be, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, this is the World Cup final here at the 2017 edition of the Indoor Cricket World Cup. Once again, I'm Cameron Walter alongside Sean Shaper. It's certainly our pleasure bringing you this fantastic match. You just see some highlights there from the previous 4 overs as Baker and Floros get ready to contend with New Zealand's comeback. The Australians got back on track there in that last over. New Zealand, they'd love a couple of wickets here in the final 4 overs of this innings. Interestingly, Sean, Lyle Teskey said in the pre-game that he'd be happy with 75. Well, they're pretty close to that already. Here's Tunnicliffe. A chance. Call is no. The left-handed Baker.
Travis Baker, been around experience, hits the ball really hard, very committed, wears his heart on his sleeve and dedicated player.
Quite a bowler too, Sean.
Good pace.
And it's great delivery there. Begins swinging delivery just behind the legs of Travis Baker, and immediately these two are on third ball. Another huge moment in the final.
New Zealand need this wicket. Australia need to rotate the strike.
Oh, Travis Baker. Oh, it's a sign of class, that is. Not trying to hit your way out of trouble on third ball. He just waited for the delivery, got the bat at the right angle, and lovely shot.
Lovely. No signs of panic whatsoever. Just waited, leant on it, played it perfectly up into the 2 net.
Floros beaten with a full and wide away swinging delivery. Good variations to his line here, Tunnicliffe. Make it difficult for these guys to get settled. I find he'll start it on the legs and bring it back onto the stumps here. No, he goes with a wider delivery again. There's a chance. Baker has to dive around Victor Davies, so even more of an opportunity there for them to affect a run out, but they're home. It is a single. Last ball of the over.
Australia looking very composed here. No signs of any panic. Turning the strike over, rotating it.
Change up from Tunnicliffe. It'll be a dot, and these two will bank to 3 runs from yet again another good over from New Zealand without a wicket.
You can't help saying that, you know, New Zealand have bowled with really good discipline, and some of these skins, the 25 skin, they're not bowled with the discipline that they presented. That 25 may have been 35. So
yes,
although they haven't taken wickets, they've really bowled a good tight line.
Absolutely right. And I mean, ordinarily I'd be tempted to say the Australian class is the reason why they've gotten this many runs despite that bowling, but New Zealand have let themselves down with a few of those opportunities.
Certainly created chances and just never executed them.
Here's Ryder, his second over. And Matt Floros, that is just too good, is it not?
That's fantastic. You don't get better strokes than that. That's out of the top draw, takes the fielders out of play, highest quality in the indoor cricket.
It's called through, and Crook can't get his hands on it early enough. It's just a single. Floros is, of course, the Australian vice-captain, captain of his state back in Australia.
Matt Floros, a tall lad, gets down nice and low. Lovely to see the commitment of a tall man getting down for his country.
And that's another front foot no ball from Jesse Ryder, and another wonderful shot for two from Matt Floros. 4 runs, and that really hurts. After the first over going for only 3, all of a sudden they're on 10. It's full. There's a chance in the front court. Game just not going New Zealand's way. Move now to 80, and that is par, ladies and gentlemen. As far as Sean and I are concerned, that's par, and they've got, 14 balls to come. Beaten. Good delivery. This is what New Zealand need to do. They need to keep coming at the Aussies. Sure, Australia might score above par. Just got to contain them as much as they can.
Absolutely. They certainly can't let Australia get away from this now.
See, Ryder looked immediately down in his hand. There's that moisture playing a part again, and leg side. So with 12 balls remaining in their innings, Australia are on 82 and looking good, Sean Shaper.
Yes, looking very good. New Zealand obviously feeling a bit of the pressure now. Moisture and perspiration coming out, and Jesse Ryder just spraying that one down the leg, missing the track, and bonus 2 runs to Australia. And Australia looking very disciplined. Yeah, that 90 that we spoke about is certainly within their grasps.
Now, not only are we coming to you through Dubai TV, but also through Facebook, thanks to our friends at BeLive Streaming. They've flown all the way from Australia to help us bring this event to you through the internet, as well as on Dubai TV. And the Dubai TV guys doing a fantastic job for us here at the InSports Club Centre as Crook starts his second over. I have to give them a shout out. They'd never televised a game of indoor cricket until yesterday, and their crews turned up. They've got everything set up and they're ready to go and bring us some fantastic coverage.
Excellent. Well done to them.
And a good call of yes from Travis Baker there. Just getting back to the cricket. 83 is the total.
So Brendan Crook bowled a very good over in his first over. The second one has got to be tight. He's a good bowler, he's a key bowler, he's a wicket-taking bowler. He's got to keep the Australians contained.
Well, saw them shout for catch. I'm not sure Floros got anything on that. Very tense final stages of this innings here. New Zealand desperate to rein Australia in. Oh, leg side, that doesn't help. There's that pressure, there's that moisture, there's that humidity.
You can see the standards are very high. Crook not happy with himself there, giving it free 2 runs to the Australians. Not happy, really annoyed.
Chance to flick. Ryder cannot hit. You almost have to wonder if there's any merit in the field change. Maybe moving Henderson down there into the front court. Hasn't been a lot of driving from Australia. Ryder would be effective there on the 3 line. Big height, good hands. Henderson, more indoor cricket under his belt, could be more effective there in the front court.
Yes, Cameron, I tend to agree with that. It's a very good point you've raised there. Jesse's a big man. He's fairly quick. He's not as agile. And I think with his height and the flicks and the returns that he's getting, 3 line is a good position for him. Henderson's very agile, very quick in your face, gets rid of the ball very quickly. Something New Zealand may have considered, but they've stayed as they've entered.
Yeah, that's it. They've got a plan and they're sticking to it. Now, 6 balls remain in the Australian innings. They're on 87 runs, and it'll be Matt Henderson, so we won't see him move down into the front court. He's going to bowl the final over of the innings. You suggested 90 is a score that Australia would be really happy with. They're just 3 runs away from that now. New Zealand will be desperate to take a wicket here and rein them in. 2 fielders on the legs of the left-handed Travis Baker. And that's why it's through the gap. The flick! Well, again, Ryder's all over it. Gets the ball very quickly, but he can't hit the stumps, and the keeper can't take the ball.
Yeah, brilliant piece of fielding for Jesse Ryder. The big man gets up off the ground there. Good flick, just not able to hit the wickets. Been a fair amount of those chances, Cameron.
Matt Floros, take a bow. That is an unbelievable shot.
Yes, sir. It doesn't get any better than that.
Does it so often there in his legs, it actually surprises me that people continue to bowl on his legs.
Good point.
4 balls remain. And Travis Baker this time. It's your turn. These two advancing the score towards 3 figures. There's 3 remaining, so in the absence of a backcourt shot, they won't get there. But 90 plus in a World Cup final, what an innings this has been from Australia.
This has been a really disciplined innings.
Well, almost a double hit there, I think, down into the ground and then off the bat again. That'll be a dot. 2 to come now. Beaten. And it's just a better line just between his legs and the leg sideline. Perhaps that's what Henderson had been attempting to do throughout the over now. Crucial moment here. The difference between 90 plus and 80 something comes down to this 3rd ball, Sean.
Oh yes, indeed. And every run in this game counts. Every single run.
It's a chance to throw. Cannot hit, which is the story of the Kiwi fielding effort. And Australia have posted 94 runs batting first in the World Final here at the 2017 Indoor Cricket World Cup. What a performance it has been from them. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your company as we take you the closing stages of what has been not just a long week here, but a long period of preparation for all of these sides. And it's our thanks to our major partner, Leica Fly, as well as Power Shots Photography, the team at BeLive and Burley Seacombe, long-time partners of the World Indoor Cricket Federation. Once again, I'm Cameron Walter alongside Sean Shaper, an South Australian there, Sean, South African captain and the current coach of the men's team, along with Vaughan Bullet-Rath. Sean, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And 94 runs on the board for Australia. Have New Zealand got that in them?
Oh, thank you, Cameron. Lovely to be here. Lovely honour, and what an amazing grand final. 94, if I were walking out there to defend 94, I'd certainly want to back my side. And New Zealand, do they have the ability? By all means. It's going to take discipline, it's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of hard running, and let's have a look and see. I think we're in for a treat.
Absolutely. One of the characteristics of New Zealand sides is they certainly never say die, and they probably are one of the better prepared New Zealand sides in a long time. Brought over an analyst that's been spending a lot of time watching their opponents, including obviously Australia. So the coaches Steve Hart and Paul Botterill, as well as their analyst Preston Hart, would have lots and lots of intel for these New Zealand batsmen. So they'll know what they're going to come up against. They've obviously played them throughout the week. Now I want to put the major semi-final behind them. New Zealand only scoring something in the 20s in a clinical bowling performance from Australia. So it's one thing to know what the Australians have got, another thing entirely to counter it.
Yes, I think where they're up against it, this is an excellent fielding outfit. The Australians are extremely clinical in their execution. There's a quick release of the hand when the ball's been released, and they're deadly accurate. Cameron, over the years, it's been the key to their success. Their discipline in their batting, but their execution in their bowling is brilliant. So New Zealand will know they're up against it. They've had a tough time in the round robin and in the semi-final, but they've certainly got to come out believing that they can get that 94.
And we just saw the highlights there of the Australian innings. It was all Australia, perhaps with the exception of a little patch there in the 3rd pair where New Zealand fought back. But the fight back was erased from memory as the 3rd pair found their way back to 14, despite the loss of that wicket there that you saw in the earlier wicket from Luke Ryan, and then for the final pair to come out and put 25 on the board as well. Well, that's why they have 24. And, well, everything you just said about Australia is on the money. Sean, we are about to see something special here. And tell you what, Luke Ryan looks like he's going to bowl the first over. His first ever World Cup final, his first tour with the Australian men's team, and here he is bowling the first over. He'll have to contend with Kieran Butler and Matt Henderson, who have the job of opening the batting. And how important is it going to be that they get off to a good start?
Yes, they certainly can't be on the back foot from the start. If Ryan's bowling is anything like his batting was, it's certainly going to be a task.
And here we go. The umpire, Andrew Hall-Villiers, calls play to action. Small moment while Vinesh Bennett marks his position on the court. Luke Ryan is ready to go. Kieran Butler's on strike. And here we go. Short, and that is a quick delivery. It even beat Lyle Teskey. You see him giving the arm a rub there. What a cracking ball to start.
Oh, I'm certainly glad we're sitting up here, Cameron. That was some real decent pace.
Chance, it's just through Floros. I think it just didn't quite come off the bat where Floros thought that it had, so didn't get the ball in hand. Risky run for New Zealand, but they need to turn the strike over, so I don't mind that.
They'll certainly take the one run. Henderson facing now with experienced batsmen. Take some responsibility, and he's certainly relishing these moments. He handles the pressure really well.
Chance at the top end, the throw from Matt Floros, and the first wicket falls. A diving Butler that does not find his ground, and that arm from Matt Floros at the leg side position. He is an absolute beast in that corner, and have a look here on the replay. Straight into him. It is not leg side to a left-hander, but it is the same side of the court he's used to, and he's come up with the goods for Australia.
I mentioned it earlier about the Australians. A deadly accurate throw. Crucial.
Free to come now. Another chance, it falls safe. Two to come in this over. Very interested to, well, would love to have been a fly on the wall in the huddle of the New Zealand side leading into this run chase. We'll see Ryan continue. Chance for the keeper. And it's not the prettiest wicket you'll see in your life, but Lyle Teskey made no mistake, courtesy of the confusion from the New Zealand batsman. And there are some World Cup nerves, ladies and gentlemen. Once again on the instant replay, thanks to the Dubai TV team. Well, the Kiwis had given up, and Lyle Teskey, he lost his footing, he got back and just threw himself at the stumps, and another run out for Australia.
Lyle Teskey, a.k.a. John G. Rhodes, demolishing the wickets.
Last ball of the over. And a great delivery that is. And Sean, again, this is just bringing back memories of the 2014 final. The Australians defending 150-something in that match, turned around and got 3 for -10 off the first over. This one 2 for -8, and putting themselves in the box seat straight away.
What a wonderful opening over that is, Cameron. A wonderful opening. Good pace generated, good bounce, and importantly, where unfortunately New Zealand fell touch short was Ryan brought the fielders into play. Every one of those deliveries, they were in with a shot.
They were indeed, and I was going to say earlier, I'd love to have heard what the New Zealand tactics, what their desired approach to this run chase will be, and after that first over, they've got to throw the playbook out just about. Now it's 103 they need to score.
Yes.
Tim Floros is the second bowler of the innings and starts well. Again, I said earlier, he's Cricket Australia's current international indoor cricketer of the year, so for the Australians back home, that's the equivalent of being the Allan Border medalist.
You can certainly see why, Cameron. Yeah. He's a class act.
And one down leg side to the left-handed Henderson.
He'll be disappointed with himself. Tim Floros prides himself on his bowling and his batting, and wouldn't want to give away too cheaply.
He can get pretty angry, Tim Floros, when it doesn't go his way. That one's inside the line. Very good decision there by Andrew Hall-Villiers. Tim and Matt Floros, of course, brothers. The third brother, Benji Floros on the bench for this final, so making history. He was the first set of 3 brothers to play together in an open men's team for Australia.
Yeah.
What an achievement for the Floros family.
Absolutely. Proud parents.
Their older brother Jason probably be in this side too if he didn't have a contract with Queensland Cricket. So
Certainly a cricketing family.
yeah, well, and their cousin Jake is a former All-Star and coach at the international level, and their other cousin Alexander Floros just won a world title with the 21 and under. So that's what they describe back home as a Floros fest.
Wonderful genes. New Zealand just turning over the strike there, Cameron, needing to.
Absolutely. Final ball of the Floros over. Butler on strike. A chance here. The flick, well, didn't hit. Butler, Henderson may have been home nonetheless. And they get back to -2, so not a bad little fight back there in that over. 6 runs from it, but it's still all Australia at the moment.
Both these batsmen, both Henderson and Butler, determined. They've had a good week. It's been a little bit up and down, but you can really see the tenacious attack from them. They really want to get back into a positive, fighting back, and you can see the focus and concentration on their face. They know they're in the game, in a big game.
Absolutely, and you saw on your screen there just having a lengthy chat with both the coaches, Steve Hart and Paul Bottrell. I'll be saying pretty much what you've just said. I think, Sean, still in the game, keep working hard for us. It's really important that these two need to get to 10 or 15 at least to keep them in the game.
Yes, indeed.
They have to meet the challenge against Vinesh Bennett. Chance at the top, just not to the hand of Floros. What a reaction from that double hit. Freaks.
Really fast hands in from Floros.
Chance, and they've direct hit. That's what New Zealand couldn't do, but Henderson's home.
Good shot there from Butler. Soft hands, getting some innovation, allowing Henderson to get through.
Say, if I'm not mistaken, New Zealand took 2 wickets throughout their entire innings. Australia did that in the first over.
Yes. Hence the reason them being on the back foot.
A chance at the top, a big throw from Floros. A diving Butler is home. The throw was wide.
2 Floros brothers are really quick and sharp up front there. You've got to take them out of the game. If you're going to play anything within their vicinity, in their range, you're going to put yourself in trouble.
Another direct hit for Australia. Although Butler is safe, they're showing the New Zealanders they are going to hit those stumps more often than not. And Vinesh Bennett bowling on the legs of Henderson despite only having 1 fielder on the legs of the left-hander. Butler on strike now, so 2 on the legs of the right-hander. 2 to come. And on middle and off, short and put away, and a chance for an extra run here. Fitzgerald does the tidying up.
Good shot from Butler. That's what they need to do. They need to get in there, get in behind it, play with soft hands, get some elevation, try and get up to a positive 10.
There it is, that's 2. And they move to 4, so in a great position now to get to that 10 plus that you suggested, Sean. So it has indeed been a very good fight back after that first over from Luke Ryan. It's going to be Rob Fitzgerald by the looks of it. So Australia aren't messing around here. They've thrown Luke Ryan, the very, very rapid debutant, Tim Floros, Australia's International Indoor Cricket of the Year, Vinesh Bennett, 2-time International Indoor Cricket of the Year for Australia and World Cup experienced campaigner, and now Rob Fitzgerald, who I think is the only player in the side that's played more games than Vinesh Bennett. So they're not messing around, the Aussies.
No, not at all. And I've had the privilege of facing Fitzgerald. He's no slouch. He gets it up at you with some good pace, and he's got those variations. So Henderson's going to have his hands full here, but I'm sure he's going to be up to the task.
Chance again, but just a little collision there as Floros was fielding the ball, just bobbled out of his hands. Butler just stretching there. They're feeling every bit of the week-long tournament, I think, Sean.
Yes, indeed.
Great shot and well
Very
kept
good.
off the net. Jay Otto there moving to the 3 line while Fitzgerald is bowling. It's at the back now. Chance at the top. A direct hit, is it? Oh, I think Vinesh might have had to gather that one. And Henderson, as a result, gets home. Desperation from him. That's what the Kiwis need.
Oh, that's a wonderful piece of fielding. A gather, turn and throw. Deadly accurate. Umpire's got a good view calling that in, but it must have been really close.
Driven straight to the hands of Vinesh Bennett. It'll be a dot. It's been an important fight back here from New Zealand. They were -8 at the end of the first over and 2 to come. They're back to 7. Well, probably could have run there, not wanting to take on the arm of Tim Floros, and it's another dot. So they'll finish their partnership on 3rd ball, Sean.
Yes, I honestly think there was a run there. A little bit of hesitation, not taking the run, and now pressure on the 3rd ball.
Fitzgerald's going to move around the wicket for his last delivery. And very square, Tim Floros on the offside. 2 men on the leg side of Butler. Here we go. And it'll just be a down-up single. Floros, just Australia always in the game when the ball is in his hands. And, well, despite only 8 runs again, that is a very good fight back from New Zealand. That could well have gone negative there, but they've got back to 8, and New Zealand are still in the game. Going to need, well, very big partnership here. I keep saying it on commentary, Sean, for our regular viewers, that it's up to the first 3 batting pairs to give the last pair an opportunity to win. And you can see the Australians, they had a partnership of 30, so that's the highest partnership of the game. If we use that as our rule of thumb, if New Zealand is somewhere around 64 at the end of the 12th, then they're in with a chance. And to do that, they're going to need, well, 25-30 for the next 2 pairs.
Yes, indeed. So definitely pressure on this pair coming in. Jesse Ryder playing in his first tournament. He's had a good tournament, but up against a really good fielding outfit here. I couldn't help notice there, but Butler being a bit disappointed with himself there, looking down and giving a bit of a fist pump to say, oh, you could have done better than that. So the standards are high. He's a little bit disappointed there, but they've pulled them back to that positive 8, and this pair's got to take it on. Like you said, get up to a good 30.
And it's going to be Travis Baker to bowl first.
Good gas from Travis.
And spilled into the net there. So 2 runs from Ward. It wasn't the quickest delivery I've seen Baker bowl. Getting warmed up.
Been a long week.
Oh yes. It's a great delivery. Just rolling his fingers over that one. Variations for someone of his pace are so effective because the batsman's expecting it to come at them quickly. You roll your fingers over it like that, create that variation, make them force the pace. Just smart cricket. There it is again. Chance. Well, it's too good, Travis Baker.
Travis Baker thinking about this delivery, not just running in and bowling, but he is a fast bowler, and I can't help think that quick ball's coming in any minute now. He's not a spinner.
3rd ball, Jesse Ryder on strike. And he rolls his finger over it again this time. It's a little bit fuller and straighter, and Ryder waits for it, saw it coming, and hits it for a nice 2 for New Zealand.
Lovely stroke, Jesse Ryder. There it is, Cameron. That's the quick one.
Yeah. New Zealand happy with a dot. And another dot ball to finish the over. A great over that was from Travis Baker. There's been a few matches of late where we've seen Baker unsuccessful in the wickets column, but always bowling dot balls and always putting pressure. And if you're the kind of bowler that another team's happy to absorb dot balls, well, then you're one step ahead already, are you not?
Yeah, absolutely. And what I like about Travis Baker, he's an aggressive fast bowler. He's got some variation there, but more importantly, if you have a look at that particular over, he never gave away any extras, and the batsman was playing 6 out of 6.
The Australian captain now, Lyle Chesky, will bowl the 6th over. The score is 12 for New Zealand in pursuit of Australia's 94. For the moment, it is advantage Australia. Kiwis aren't going anywhere, however. And that's a wonderful shot there from Jesse Ryder. Looks pretty comfortable with a bat on an indoor cricket court, doesn't he?
Oh, he's a class act, wasn't he? He had a wonderful career outdoor, and he's coming in, he's made the adjustment. Class bat, just under the eyes, nip it up into the 2-net, makes it look so simple.
Another dot ball bowled. I'll tell you what this performance from the Australians so far has done is it's kept the crowd quiet as well. There's plenty of Kiwis here watching. They're not as vocal, and that's the sort of thing New Zealand rely on, a little bit of fire from themselves and from their supporters. Chance here from Fitzgerald. It's a direct hit, but a diving Nick Ward is home.
Nick Ward putting in a really good dive and a good stretch there. Just coming back to the crowd. Yeah, I think they can feel the nerves and the tension. The Kiwis a little bit on the back foot here, and they need something special. Perhaps if this pair can get up to the 30, we'll hear a bit more from them.
It's another single. These two rotating the strike nicely, following that first over from Travis Baker.
Another good dive in there from Nick Ward.
Oh, well, the Australians have thrown that away. New Zealand have given up. That's uncharacteristic of the Aussies. The skipper won't be happy with that.
Certainly won't. New Zealand had a few of those. All credit to big Jesse Ryder getting down and throwing himself on the ground.
There's someone on the New Zealand bench screaming no ball at the umpire. Not sure that's correct behaviour during a World Cup final. That's a dot ball to finish the over. And move to 17. So, well, 17 for the total, 9 for the partnership. The mini fight back resumes for New Zealand, and Australia missing out on, well, that's probably their first real miss chance.
Yeah, just a small reflection of them being human.
Yes. Now, thank you for your company, ladies and gents, as we continue to bring you the World Cup final here from Dubai. Dubai have been wonderful hosts of this tournament, both the city, the country, and indeed this centre here at InSports Club. Menino, Pramila and the team have been fantastic here in this facility. All of their staff wanting to help in any way that they can. So our thanks to Menino, to Pramila and all of their team here at InSports Club Dubai. It's nearly over. They nearly get to rest, Sean.
It's been a wonderful tournament, been a wonderful week. The experience, I love these World Cups. I keep coming back. I just think it's such a beautiful event and so well organised and so well run. You just want to be part of it every time.
So Jay Otto has the ball in hand. Nick Waters on strike. And what a shot that is from him. 2 runs to New Zealand's total through the form of a lovely down up 2 off his legs.
Well done, Nick Ward, under severe pressure here. Wonderful cricket shot out the top draw. Played with soft hands, rotating the strike.
Chance at the top. The throw hits Ryder. He was in the way. It took a little while to get going. Ryder was watching the ball. That's what created the chance.
Can't afford to ball watch. Can't afford to jog through. You've got to get through as quick as possible.
Chance at the top. And there it is. Matt Flores once again into the safe hands of Vinesh Bennett, and Ryder is short of his ground. A diving effort from him, but a great call from the umpire. Take a look on our instant replay. Straight to Flores, and Ryder, well, short of his ground. Great hands from Vinesh Bennett, and once again that Matt Flores arm, what a weapon it is.
Oh, I've got to tell you, Cameron, that is such a quick release. That is unbelievable.
He's made that leg side position his own in recent years and progressed to the Australian vice-captaincy. Here's Otto continuing. This time, well, you see what the arm of Floros has done there? He's just squeezed it through the gap, and this time New Zealand not interested in a run at all.
It's just caused that moment of hesitation, that moment of doubt.
Oh, Matt Floros shows he's got every tool in the kit. Just slapping straight back to the keeper. It'll be third ball now.
Pressure on New Zealand again.
Yeah, massive
Good
moment.
bowling here from Jay Otter, bringing that into the play. I mean, he shouldn't change a thing now. Bring him back in, strike three, get it into Bennett's hands.
Oh, Travis Baker this time, a big turn and throw. Turns a half chance into an opportunity, but New Zealand's safe. They see off third ball, they get back to 8 now with 1 over remaining. Well, they need a big over here. I think they'd love to walk out of the court with a score on 30, Sean.
Yeah, I think they're a bit under the cosh at the moment. I mean, this Australian side is showing so much discipline. There's certainly no lack of trying from the New Zealand side, but this side is just clinical at the moment. Very good over there from Jay Otto. Bowled with good discipline, bringing the fielders in again.
Yeah, he gets better with age, like a fine wine, Jay Otto. Still a weapon in this Australian lineup, and Matt Floros now will bowl the final over to this pair. Well, it's full length, outside off, and Nick Ward, he's batted well. He's looked pretty comfortable to all 4 bowlers so far.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Nick Ward. I thought he's really been good today. Nice and composed.
A leg side there from Matt Floros. That certainly helps the New Zealand cause as they edge their way towards 30 runs for the total as this pair comes to an end. Chance for the keeper. Doesn't get to the Australian hands, and a diving Nick Ward is home. Four balls remain in the partnership. A chance, no, it falls safe. Again, Nick Ward, very composed.
Yes, very good shot from Nick. Getting in nicely behind the ball. Good shape from Matt, but Nick just getting on top of it. Good cricket.
Great delivery there. Better to the left-hander. Ryder unable to get it away. 2 to come. Well, a chance there. It's a diving Jay Otto, is it? Cannot get the ball back in at the stumps, but it is another dot, and this pair will finish on third ball.
So Jesse Ryder under a bit of pressure now on the third ball. Where's Matt Floros going to place this?
Full and wide.
Good option.
Full and straight. Moving away. And Ryder hits it for 2 and moves the pair to 17 again. Not a bad fight back, but they're chasing 94, sitting on 25, only 8 overs remain. So it's going to need something very, very special. 70 runs required from 2 pairs of 35 plus. Fortunately for New Zealand, Crook, who played a very good game against your team, Sean,
yes,
in the prelim final. He's out here to bat. I think he's going to be, well, if they've got one batsman out here that can still get them close to that total and get them a good 30-plus pair here, I think it'll be Crooks, just based on what I saw from last night's game.
Yeah, it's fair comment. Yeah, a really good game. My concern here is with both these batting pairs that have finished now, the Australians put immense pressure on the first couple of overs, and you found the New Zealand's playing catch-up. So I almost suspect that, there we go, they start with Travis Baker coming in really hard, put them on the back foot again, and they won't mind if the last 2 overs are playing catch-up from New Zealand.
Absolutely. It's It's an approach I am a massive fan of in indoor cricket, and that is you never defend, you always attack.
Absolutely.
And with 94 runs on the board, they just keep attacking the Australians, and it's, as you say, it's coming in the form of Travis Baker. Tunnicliffe on strike, he gets it away. Just wait for the call. I'm not sure which net that caught first. I've taken my glasses off, Sean, and it will be one.
Certainly don't want to be coming in and facing Travis Baker for your first over. Almost feel like you're under the cosh already.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then again, you did say Crook had a wonderful game last night, so he'll be up for this challenge.
Yeah, I think so. And you can come into the game with some confidence, having played that big game. You need that confidence to contend with players of the calibre of Baker. That's leg side. Well, the extras are certainly going to help New Zealand's cause, but I get the sense that Australia probably really only need to take 1 or 2 more wickets, and they've put this beyond doubt. A chance for Fitzgerald, and there's one of them. He is an absolute champion in that position. I talked about Matt Flores before making that leg side position his own. Rob Fitzgerald owns the 3-line in that position, and what an amazing effort that is. Take a look here. Shot, a diving effort, and throws the stumps down, and if you don't mind, in the air when he threw that ball.
Take a bow. And if you're a young indoor cricketer, just have a look at that. Absolutely brilliant.
It finds the net, it'll be 2. They get back to 0 for the pair and 25 for the total with 2 balls remaining.
Just going back to that piece of fielding from Rob, it wasn't the worst shot I've seen before, but the execution and the positional play of Rob Fitzgerald is just absolutely brilliant.
And that's proving to be the difference between the two sides. We've talked almost ad infinitum about all of the opportunities the Kiwis missed. The Australians, on the other hand, they're turning 1%ers into wickets.
Absolutely.
That's a misfield, and it creates a chance at the keeper's end. Tunnicliffe is home to finish the over, 1 run from it. Another great over from Baker, and ably assisted by Rob Fitzgerald with that run out.
What I love about this Australian team, Jay Otto obviously very annoyed with himself there, missing an opportunity. But within seconds, the Australian boys are around him. Forget about it, mate. Let's move on. Let's get on to the next ball. Good, positive attitude.
Should probably mention that this is the final World Cup for the Australian coach, Ross Gregory. Yeah, he has announced his retirement. This will be the last time he's in charge of an Australian side. And what an impact he's had on indoor cricket in Australia.
Oh, wonderful man. Well, this will be his 4th World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it might be more than that. And a direct hit! Oh, the Aussies have gone up. That was very, very tight. Vinesh Bennett off his own bowling. Unbelievable.
Another very good piece of fielding, and also all credit to Crook there, putting his head down and accelerating right through the line.
Wonderful shot.
New Zealand.
Ball, I meant to say there, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful ball.
New Zealand really need to make sure that they turn this over into a positive over.
It's down up dot.
Very good line that, Cameron. Very good, very tight.
Leg side definitely helps the New Zealand cause, but they're going to need a few more of those.
Yeah, you see Bennett just wiping his hand a little bit there. Bit of moisture. Really hot in the centre. Close.
Yeah.
Very good change up here for Vinesh. He's really got the batsman guessing.
This is, in fact, Ross Gregory's 7th World Cup in charge of the Australian side. I just checked my notes. What a remarkable career as Bennett continues. Straight to the field, or a direct hit. He went back, chance at the top, and the Australians, Luke Ryan, they are all over these Kiwis. Just a clinical performance we are seeing from them in the field.
It's a big time game, and they've turned it up. They've turned it up a gear, and the New Zealand are feeling the pinch now. Really under pressure. Wonderful piece of fielding, lack of communication from New Zealand, resulting in a -5.
And look, Sean, I see this time and time again from Australia at tournaments like these. They get pushed throughout the week, including by New Zealand, who nearly beat them in the round robin stages, and they turn up for the big games, and they are ruthless.
I can't but agree with you. Absolutely ruthless is a wonderful, wonderful way to put it, because they leave no room for error. If I have to analyse this and say they probably missed one chance.
That's it. Here's Floros, Tim Floros that is, another chance. I think the Kiwis sense now this might be a little beyond them. They'll need some sort of special effort here.
This pair started looking good, and Crook had a good game last night, but they're certainly under the cosh now.
And once again, they're on third ball. Now, we talked a few times about what New Zealand need to do and what they need to score, but look at the bowling attack they've had to contend with. Unbelievable from the Australians.
Just look at the energy that's coming off them.
Well, it's a loose shot, gets away with it. Has a bit of a grin to himself. It's down up 2 in the book, though.
Yeah, Tunnicliffe obviously not going where he wanted to go, but he'll take it.
Full and straight, played well by Crook. It is runs for New Zealand.
Just to give an indication of how good a team this Australian team is. Crook is a good, solid batsman. To see a pair like this on 3 after 11 overs, it's a tough one to accept. And again, a good delivery.
Just incredible bowling performance we're seeing here from the Australians. How about the batting performance to put 94 runs on the board? Unbelievable. One to come now from Tim Floros, and a great shot there from Tunnicliffe.
Another lovely stroke there, solid into the ground. Well, Australians are the defending champions, and you can see why.
Well, I keep saying it's going to happen one day. Someone's going to beat Australia at a World Cup final. And I know that every Australian team that comes away feeling that pressure. They don't want to be the first team to lose. But, well, I just look at the 8 players on the court here, and I look over on the Australian bench, and I see the quality of the players sitting on that bench. They could literally have picked any combination of 8 out of their 12. And the depth in the Australian side, and I'll use the word again, the ruthlessness in them. World cricket has to take it up another notch.
In order for them to be, the other countries are really going to have to lift their game. And when I say that, it's discipline, good piece of play there, good piece of fielding again. It all boils down to the standards and the levels, because this is a tournament where the likes of India and UAE and Sri Lanka are becoming contenders now, so the standards are increasing.
And that's definitely pleasing to see from an international perspective, is the increasing standard of indoor cricket, the increasing exposure, as I talk to you through Dubai TV and the live stream on Facebook. I think it was only, in 2014 we were live on Sky Sports. In fact, we weren't live on Sky Sports. We filmed the game in New Zealand, and it was retransmitted later. So in just 3 years, we were able to bring you the World Cup final live, and Matt Floros makes no mistake from that chance as Tunnicliffe tries to hit out. And back to 29 other Kiwis. It's all green and gold at the moment, Sean.
All green and gold, and unfortunately it's going to be an uphill battle for New Zealand from here. I just can't see it getting any easier, and the pressure just being piled on by the Aussies.
Two to come. Tucked around behind square. They go for the flick. A little bit of a collision between the non-striker and Teskey and Tim Floros. All is well. And one to come now in this batting partnership.
It's a confined space and collisions do occur, but the boys tend to get up half and move on.
There's the edge. And we'll finish the over. Just 6 runs from that batting pair. Australia are large and in charge and on their way to another World Cup title. And Victor Davies and Scott Davies now make their way out onto the court. Well, 64 required. I think that's pretty well unheard of in a 6-ball over competition.
Yeah, I've been around a while now and never seen that at this level. So New Zealand go out and got a good positive 30 runs and restore some pride, but sadly it's almost a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, and look, restoring some pride I think is an important point as we look at a few highlights here thanks to the team at Dubai TV. I mentioned this during the women's game earlier today. South Africa, well, probably 2 overs into their run chase were out of the game. What was important for them was not only to restore some pride for the Proteas, but also to learn from that World Cup final so that the next time they are there, they're better prepared against the side, the juggernaut that is Australia. The same's true here of the New Zealanders. I talked before about the roll of honour they've got there. There's a lot of numbers that are high and in the hundreds. There's a lot of new players in this team. We'll expect to see them at the next World Cup, and this experience will make them all the better prepared for it.
Oh, certainly. Most certainly.
Ryan to bowl his second over. It's up. A diving Vinesh Bennett can't get to that. See that Victor Davies isn't going to die wondering. Luke Ryan bowled a brute of a first over, and he's been sent into the backcourt for 4, the first ball of his second.
Welcome to international cricket.
Yeah. Well, what a comeback.
What a comeback. Yeah, this is the thing about this Australian team. They don't get fluttered. I mean, he's been hit for a 5 there. He's got a dot ball. It's a fantastic ball. Let's see how he responds to ball 3.
Chance. And a great pick-up and throw from Travis Baker. But the New Zealanders are hip to it, and Victor Davies back into his crease. It'll be 3rd ball now.
Luke Ryan delivering a ball where the fielders are brought into play. And that's so important in indoor cricket.
Driven, and it'll be out. Straight back to Vinesh Bennett. And another wicket falls. Australia, the ruthlessness continues, and Luke Ryan hits back from that back net shot, and that's 3 wickets for him in his first World Cup final.
Brilliant. The Kiwis certainly laid down the gauntlet here. Their intention is not to play up in the side nets, but being very aggressive and trying to play through the V-line, hitting the back net. And that time costing them.
Chance now, chance. The throw is just wide from Baker. How quickly does he get in that front court and pick up the ball for the turn and throw? Yeah, that'll be a no ball, short and at the head of Victor Davies, and certainly called no ball by Andrew Hall-Villiers. So 4 runs to finish. They get 5 runs from the over, but great figures for Luke Ryan, 3 for -3 in a World Cup final.
Good figures for Luke Ryan, and really, that was a really well played shot there from Victor Davies. Above his head, hard into the ground, rotating, and yeah, they're fighting back.
Jay Otto will bowl his second over with 3 overs remaining in the World Cup final. Has been a very, very good day for Australia. 4 World Cup finals played here, the 2 Opens division for the men and women, and then in the 21 and under age group for the boys and girls. And Australia is going to take home all of the chocolates.
clean sweep from the Australians. Well done. All credit to you. Certainly done your homework and come well prepared. And that's what expected at this sort of level.
Otto continuing. Australians, despite having both hands firmly on the World Cup, they're not letting up. They're not going through the motions here. Yeah, off the net from Luke Ryan. Just great fielding.
Yeah, absolutely. Australians won't take their foot off the pedal here. They won't be happy with New Zealand on 38. They want to get them down.
Driven. Otto gets a foot to it and keeps it to 1. More power hitting from Victor Davies. Maybe we should have seen him come in a little bit earlier, Sean, especially after the first pair, and maybe even if he didn't bat second, he should have batted third.
Yeah, they could have possibly changed that round. This batting pair has been really aggressive, and what I'm liking here, they're on 39, the target is out of reach, but they're not giving up. They're giving it a go, they're restoring their pride, they're trying to build up an innings here, and they're going about it nicely.
Well, what could have been if they'd batted earlier? If they'd put on 30, different game. And that one will be a leg side to close out the over. There's a good 8 runs from it for the Kiwis. Too little too late as far as the World Cup is concerned. As you mentioned a few times there, Sean, it's all about restoring some pride for South Pacific's Triple Star now. 50 runs behind, 2 overs remaining.
Yes, Cameron, and elaborate on what you said earlier. Let them learn from the sort of experience so that when they come back from the next World Cup, you know, they know how to approach it. The Australians are a clinical side. They finish and execute, and all the countries for that matter, South Africa, everyone who's been part of this. We need to watch, take from this, and come back and make sure that we're putting the Aussies under pressure.
The Australian skipper will bowl the penultimate over of the tournament here at InSports Club Dubai. Our thanks again to our major partners at Lycofy, without which the World Cup would not have been possible. Here's Teskey. Well, there's a chance at the top. The throw's a little high from Tim Flores, maybe instinctively avoiding throwing that into the back of Victor Davies' head. That's very kind of him. That'll be a dot.
Certainly no lack of effort from the New Zealanders.
Driven. Misfielded by Vinesh Bennett, but he still keeps it to 1. Just scrambles along the ground there to keep it off the net. And well backed up as well by Rob Fitzgerald. Still plenty of aggression from these two.
Yes, it was a good piece of fielding from Vinesh because that was struck hard.
See Jay Otto filling in at the stumps for Lyle Teskey, screaming for more chat. There's, 10 balls left in the game. They're some 49 runs in front, and he's still screaming for the standards that the Australians set themselves. And look at this field that's been set. Very deep Fitzgerald, deep Luke Ryan. Victor Davies backs away and hits it down up 2. Again, a sign the Australians are not going through the motions.
No, definitely not. That's it. Not taking the foot off the pedal. They want to finish well. They want to finish clinically, and they want to go and hold the World Cup.
Very unusual field in play here. And Teskey beats Scott Davies. And 2 to come.
Yeah, definitely unorthodox field, but they can see the intention of the New Zealanders trying to be aggressive and play more in the V. Teskey is the skipper, making adjustments in his field.
At a 2 off the second last ball. It'll be the final ball in the tournament for the Australian captain. He's been a member of, 4 World Cup sides. This is his 5th, I believe. I'm sorry if I've sold you short there, Lyle Teskey, but maybe this will be his last. Driven straight to Fitzgerald and out. And what sort of field placement is that from the Australian captain? He almost went over and marked that spot for Rob Fitzgerald, and that's why an easy run out again for the Aussies.
Yeah, very good piece of captaincy from Lyle Teskey, reading the game really well. And Victor Davies having a go, backing himself, but straight to the fielder. That's exactly what makes a good captain, one that can read the game, assess it, and make the adjustment accordingly.
So Matt Floros, the Australian vice-captain, will bowl the final over of the World Cup.
Not a bad choice for the 16th over.
Yeah, in particular if it had been closer.
Indeed.
Chance for the keeper. It just falls out of reach of Jay Otto, who stayed there after Teskey's over. As the World Cup draws to a conclusion, the Australians, well, chance again. It'll be a chance at the top, but Davies is home. The Australians have put on a little bit of an exhibition here, Sean.
Yes, they have. An interesting point. I just saw the Australian coach just saying to the boys, come on, lift your standards. Don't drop them now. It's not over yet.
Yeah, he demands high standards of his team, Ross Gregory. And, well, if my maths was correct, and this is his 7th World Cup, not only here, but 7th successful World Cup.
World Cup, correct.
That is an unbelievable effort from him, and proof's in the pudding. That demanding those high standards has been successful. 3 balls remain now in the World Cup.
Wonderful record. So as the Australians make their way towards the back here, faces filled with some smiles, and rightfully so. Job done. Well done.
Just through, ball past Teskey, and 1 ball to go now. 1 ball separates Australia and the world title.
22 for this batting pair. They really came back nice and strong, and as you stressed, it might have been better to bring them up in a little bit earlier.
And there's a wicket to finish, and Australia are your World Cup champions once again. What a comprehensive victory we have just seen. They have defeated New Zealand 94 to 48. An incredible performance from the Australians. They came out and batted unbelievably, losing just 2 wickets in the 3rd pair, and then to come out and put on a clinical display with the ball and in the field. Sean Shaper, New Zealand couldn't come up with an answer to such a brilliant performance from the Australians.
Yes, my heart goes out to them, but unfortunately Australia were just absolutely clinical. They were in a different league coming out here today, and New Zealand fought. The Kiwis came back. They tried everything. They focused. They were hard. They ran hard, but the fielding from Australia, oh my word, they were just absolutely on song.
Yeah, without question, as the Australians applaud their support here at InSports Club Dubai. There's one thing that remains. Greg Donnelly makes his way over to the Australian side. Well, no, they're going to shake hands first, and fair enough. And despite being combatants against one another, lots of respect between not just these 2 sides, but all of the sides, as you would know, Sean, here at the World Cup. The World Cup's a celebration not only of the victors, but of the spirit in which the competition is played, and these 2 sides, as well as your own, typify that.
Yes, indeed. An absolute tussle when it gets on there, but end of the day, respectful human beings, and we need to congratulate them. But absolute jubilation for the Australians, and you know, it's not just the fact that they've won, it's how they've won. They've really won clinically. They've done their preparation, and I think all Australians and supporters can be really happy with the performance, and a big congratulations to all Australian teams who took all 4 of the trophies. So yeah, very, very good.
Now the World Cup is just about to close. The Australians go into the huddle before they receive the trophy. So, well, no, they're going to go get it now. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Donnelly, the president of the World Indoor Cricket Federation, congratulates the Australian captain and hands over the 2000 2017 Indoor Cricket World Cup. Your champions, Australia. And very happy Australians, as you can see there. An amazing performance from them at this World Cup. And ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have enjoyed our coverage. It's been fantastic to see, and of course our congratulations to all of the Australian teams going through and winning all 4 divisions. Fantastic scenes live here from InSports Club Dubai. We might leave our coverage there, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Shaper, thank you very much for your company. It's been a pleasure calling the game with you.
Yeah, thank you, Cameron. Wonderful. Congratulations to Rod Gregory and the Australian side. And thank you for calling upon me. It's been an absolute honour and a great privilege to sit here and experience this grand final.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we see the rest of the Australian sides join with the Australian men to celebrate all of their world titles, we'll leave you there. Thank you very much for your company. Our thanks to major partners like a Fly, Be Live Streaming, Power Shots Photography, Burley Seacombe, and indeed all of the supporters that have made the trip here to Dubai to support, and all of you watching back at home. Your viewership is appreciated. We hope you have enjoyed it. Until next time, my name's Cameron Walter. Thanks for watching.